We interrupt this program with an urgent public announcement. We understand that Mate Talk 137 has an unprecedented running time of 1 hour and 9 minutes. At 1:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Mr. NFC woke up in a creative crisis. He was contemplating on terminating the episode and reshooting a much more reasonable 30-minute running time. This morning, under advisement from his producer and financier, she recommended that the episode remains as is. We encourage viewer discretion on the following episode. Those individuals who are sensitive to long pauses of more than 5 seconds, or even sentences that are commenced but never finished, we encourage you, do not watch this episode. I have good news though. The NFC channel has a library of incredible content that is well curated, beautiful graphics, multiple cameras, B-roll of all the bottles, so you can enjoy that content instead. Otherwise, if you choose to continue to watch, buckle up and Godspeed. Boom. Welcome. Mate Talk time. Good to be before you all. Very exciting lineup that I've got. I'm looking forward to sharing this moment with you guys. Now, if you're new to Mate Talk, what's it all about? So mate is an Argentinian drink that we drink amongst friends, and mate in Australia means friend. If you're a mate, then mate means a very good friend. So Mate Talk is about friends getting together, catching up, and talking about, in this case, niche perfumery. Now, there are no cuts, so if you are new to this format, what that means is that you're seeing the real Marcelo, so there are no cuts, nothing to hide. There's going to be one cut, and that's when I stop the camera, but other than that, it's one continuous roll. And the idea behind that is that you get to see who this person actually is, which is, I think, it's nice to know. So today, let me think, because I wanna also keep it sort of flowing and easy. Let me start off by headlines. These are the things I'll talk about at the end of the video. Now, good news is that everything is chapter marked. So if you want to jump to a particular moment in time, then you just go ahead and chapter mark. It's all there. Headlines will be at the end. 3 things I want to talk about. 1 is the Discovery series, what this means. 2, a new Discovery series about to pop in 2 weeks' time, and that's the BOIS 1920. I'll tell you more. And the last thing is the Italy luxury tour is about to go live, and I'll tell you more about that. What does that mean, and what's that about? First, a little drink, baby. We begin. So, we're coming to the end of the year. End of the year means many different things for all of us. For those who celebrate Christmas, it's a big deal. It's, buying presents and all the festive stuff that goes around with it. For other people, it's end of the financial year. No, just end of the year. So there's a lot of parties going on, a lot of start of holidays and all the rest of it. So I thought it would be cool to do a lineup of fragrances for festive occasions. So it could be award nights, it could be going to a cocktail party, it could be for going for Christmas or something like that. And also taking into consideration Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Now, why am I doing this? So I was at a theater show recently. It was an end of year production. I was sitting there, I was by myself watching this particular show, and a lady and her daughter walked in, or came in, and they sat in front of me. Anyway, as she walked past, and she was probably directly across from me, so I would say about a meter and a half away, she had the most beautiful jasmine fragrance. As she walked past, this beautiful sillage, this waft of this jasmine that wasn't, instantly, this is my brain. Instantly I thought that smells like a niche fragrance. There's a lot of facets to it. It wasn't just a singular floral, white floral sort of fragrance. There was some animalics to it. There was the beautiful jasmine, sort of white floral pieces to it, but there were all these other things. Now, I was so tempted to tap her on the shoulder and say, your fragrance is beautiful. And just give her a compliment on the fragrance. Which one is it? Because my brain's going, I wonder if it's this one, or I wonder if it's that one. I wonder if... but because I was by myself, I thought it was going to be kind of weird. And so I didn't say anything. And plus she was with her daughter, so the daughter would be like, Mom, why is this man trying to pick you up? I wasn't trying to pick her up. All I was going to say is that because I always like when people compliment if I'm wearing something beautiful, or wearing a nice fragrance. I always like when people go, whoa, you smell great. And I'll tell you, the fragrance I'm about to talk to you, there are some of those statement makers. But I thought it'll get weird. you know, and then I had to, and then it's that awkward, you know, when you say hi to someone that you know, kind of know in a shopping center or a supermarket or something like that. And then throughout the whole shopping experience, you're bumping into them. You're crossing paths constantly, you know. So I thought, I'm not going to say anything because it's going to get weird. I know, you know, I'll go out and buy a drink and then she'll be there, and then I'll go to the bathroom and she'll be, and so I just shut up basically. But it motivated me to think, wouldn't it be great to have, so we're going into this time where it's all about a beautiful fragrance to denote us and to, it could even be herald our entrance, or it could be something subtle that people go, whoa, who is that? Who's smelling so good? Here we go. So the first ones that I'd like, and I'm gonna put, sorry, one last thing. I'm gonna put some fragrances on your radar that are not necessarily the, you know, the normal brands. I was so tempted to put, excuse me, I'm reaching across, so tempted to put some Xerjoffs and Suspiros and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go a little bit, you know, I am the niche fragrance collector, so I'm gonna own my title and give you some fragrances that are very much niche and a little bit that not a lot of people talk about. Let me begin. The first one, I gotta give some rep to Australia. And I thought it would be great to talk about this incredible brand here, MIHAN Aromatics. I discovered this way before the channel was even a thing. I've always been into perfumery, and I like the thought of a good local house, and I came across MIHAN Aromatics. They are literally local, as in they're probably about 30 minutes away from where I live. They've got their warehouse out in an area called Fitzroy, really cool. I'm gonna do work with these guys because these guys are super cool. They're doing a lot more. Anyway, the story for another day. MIHAN Aromatics. And this is the first one that I bought, Guilty Story. This is Guilty Story. Now, Guilty Story is everything that the word, that the name evokes. It's a fragrance about intimacy. It's about sensuality. It is about creating some, like an olfactory lure. It is an alluring fragrance that you want to draw closer. You are intrigued by, like, what is that? I love, if you look at the notes, they can be very deceiving because it says neroli on the opening and these things. I don't get those, you know, it doesn't go bing and then boom and then bang in the sort of the close. It's more a feeling, and the feeling is really, it's about touch, it's about skin, it's about, it is about sensuality. I feel like, and then again, going back to the Guilty Story sort of concept, it's something that you shouldn't have done. It was a moment of lust. It was a moment of weakness, and it's now a guilty story. It's something that you shouldn't have gone down. So it's not an adulterous fragrance. So but it is a fragrance that is about intimacy, and it is about touch. There's a sensuality to it. Now, I love wearing this as a more intimate fragrance. Great as a date night. There's something different about it. Sometimes you find date night fragrances tend to be a little bit somewhat cliche here, a little bit different. If you want to categorize it quickly, it is a woody amber fragrance. So there is a beautiful warmth to the fragrance, but it's not overtly. So I'll tell you something that almost has like a heater to it. This one here, it does stay in a woody place. I love that they use Australian products. I won't go into grand detail about the core ingredients in here, other than they use an Australian sandalwood in the base. Now, there are no florals listed in the fragrance, but to me, I get a woody floral note. There is saffron, and I'm thinking maybe the saffron is creating an equal, because there's also there's a spiciness in there, but it's not, everything falls into a woody area. So there is cinnamon in there, and it does feel more spicy woody. There is saffron in here, and it does have the sort of slightly spicy woody floral touches to it. I've got it here. I've been smelling it all morning, so I'm covered in perfume. And Guilty Story, and I think maybe because it's registered in my brain, I know it quite well. It's just a gorgeous fragrance. It really is. It's just a beautiful statement maker in subtlety. So when you look at its projection and its presence, I find that all the MIHANs are not volume fragrances in the sense that, you know, they won't fill a room. As people come into your space, as you're, you know, in a more intimate sort of, say, meter and a half apart, people will detect the fragrance. I do find that to have incredible longevity, that one thing about the MIHANs is they're not voluminous fragrances, but they do have staying power. They stay on your skin. I find the Guilty Story 8 hours plus without a problem at all. As a going out, as an evening fragrance, as a great for an intimate dinner or a small group, great for like an intimate cocktail evening, great for, what else? I wrote down some things. Great for the theater. If you go to the theater, this would just, the trail on this baby would be gorgeous. So yeah, this is more so for the coming into the festive time. These are more sort of more intimate spaces that Guilty Story would work. I think I've covered everything. I did write here that it's luxurious and caressing. And again, I go back to that it's all about touch. Everything, when I smell this fragrance, it's a caress. It's a beautiful caress. And I do get some kind of floral in there, but even though nothing is listed, and it could be that saffron. Anyway, gorgeous fragrance, big recommendation, Guilty Story, very, really sexy fragrance. Now the next one, and Guilty Story, man or woman. So easy, very comfortable, unisex fragrance. Nothing in there stands out when it comes to like whether it's, yeah. Stop. This is why no cuts, you see this? Boom, the brain's thinking a million things. It's a perfect unisex fragrance, boom. All right, next one is MUNLARK Ash, and another one that I would strongly recommend, fun to wear. This one is a bit more masculine leaning, so women can, ladies, you can wear this. It does fall more into like a dry woods category. Dry woods tends to be, you know, almost a lot of masculine fragrances fall into that place. What I love about this is now a statement maker, and I would even go as far as saying bring this with you. So if you're driving to the location, if you're going in an Uber, not so much, because then, you know, you don't want to be carrying this baby around, but if it's of an evening, this is a great evening fragrance, by the way. So this would be an awards night, or if it's a bigger dinner, say, I don't know, maybe 50 people, there's a lot more presence. If it's a theater, I wouldn't spray it just before you walk in though, because what I want is you create presence on the opening. The opening does have a very masculine, very look at me kind of presence to it. It does have a smoky, woody element to it. I know there are things like tree sap and fir needles, I think it was. So it is a very woody, very dry wood style fragrance. On that opening, it does command presence. On the opening, I don't recommend that you breathe it in, so don't bring it to your nose. Where the Guilty Story, from the moment you spray all the way to the end of the evening, you can breathe in Guilty Story and just, you know, just yummy sounds. Whereas MUNLARK Ash, I wouldn't recommend that you breathe it in on the opening. Let the sillage and the projection do its magic. It has a smoky, sort of wood-like quality to it. Very masculine, it has great presence. Then so wait another hour or so. So this is what I'm saying, spray it just before you walk in, boom, you would walk into this space and you'd be like, you know, bada bing, here I am, with, you know, sunglass emojis on. Well, yes, with sunglasses on. But then as it begins to dry down, as the evening progresses, it comes down. Now they're using an Australian blue cypress, so it has this beautiful woody touch to it. I think there is something else in there that, vetiver. So it has this vetiver touch, so this earthy, green dryness to the fragrance. It's gorgeous. As a masculine leaning fragrance, just really very impressive. Statement maker. Again, I find that, as I mentioned earlier, the MIHANs are not voluminous fragrances. On the opening, MUNLARK does have a lot more push than Guilty Story does. Then when it dries down, it does come back into that same place as Guilty, which is more of a moderate to low across, you know, so as people come close to you, it smells divine. On the dry down, beautifully masculine, nice and dry, woody fragrance. Again, statement maker, boom. So there are two that I would recommend to you from MIHAN Aromatics, Aussie company, Really, really good. I will be doing more, I promise, because there's more that I want to talk about them, but I want to keep this thing, I want to keep Monte Talk moving forward. So let me show you the next one. Perris Monte Carlo. Another brand, this is one that you would have heard me speak about multiple times. It's another brand that people are almost discovering new. So I want to put it on your radar. So I know that I talk about it quite regularly, but it is a brand that, yeah, you just need to explore. The collection is so vast. There's something for everybody, no matter where you are on your niche perfume journey, whether you're brand new or whether you're a 5-star general, there is something for everyone involved in here. Now, the first one that I want to put on, this is a little bit more in that, so these are statement makers for beautiful occasions, so things that parties that you're going to, etc. So now in the Southern Hemisphere, we're going into summer, even though today Melbourne is terrible. Melbourne today is trash. It's raining, miserable, almost misty, like we're in the, I don't know, anyway, it's Melbourne. I would recommend to you on a beautiful sunny day, spring-like, or glorious, just a nice, big, strong heat, Arancia di Sicilia. Gorgeous. There is nothing better, in my opinion, than a very well-constructed, gorgeous citrus fragrance. And I know this is going to be a big call, and I might get some people who disagree with me very strongly. I don't believe any designer fragrance actually does it right. I find that niche, if you want to get a good citrus fragrance, you got to jump across to niche. The niche fragrances, they have much more evolution. I find that designer fragrances that are in that citrus are very singular. It's just, you know, the citrus, whatever that might be, just, it's just constantly doing the same sound. Whereas I find that within niche, it really moves and dances, and just the expression is so much more complete. And again, I'm going to make a big call here. I don't think anybody does it better than Perris Monte Carlo. Their Italian collection is by far the best in the market, and I will, under torture, I will say the same thing: the best on the market. All right. So if you like citrus, then I would strongly recommend to you the Italy collection from Perris Monte Carlo. Now, recently I had an opportunity. So for those who might not know, I have a touring company, KM Fragrance Tours, first in the world, baby. What we do is we take people behind the scenes and we show, create experiences when it comes to all things niche perfumery. I'll tell you more about the Italy tour that's coming up at the end, but we recently did a France fragrance tour in September this year. And one of the brands that we visited was Perris Monte Carlo in Monte Carlo. Bada bing, baby. Now we met with the owner, Gianluca Perris. And again, this was a bada bing moment because Gianluca started the company. Obviously, his name's on the bottle, but he got headhunted by Santa Maria Novella, and he went to Florence, did a lot of work there. He came back, so he's back to his brand in September. So we had, like, I think he walked in 1st September, and on the 17th or so, he actually presented to our group. Now, the beauty of this moment of being able to be in the room, we were in the Monaco Yacht Club. I hear a whole bunch of images. We were in the Monaco Yacht Club and was able to go through and understand the choices he made when it comes to the perfumery, when it comes to the creations that he had, that he put together. Arancia di Sicilia is one that he created, so he's the perfumer behind this. And the full story, as he shared in that moment, was that he has a very strong relationship with a company called AQUA. AQUA have been doing oil extraction of citruses in the south of Italy since 18 boom. And they reached out to him, to Gianluca, and they said, look, we've created new extraction methods for different citruses, and I'd love you to check them out. Now, Gianluca could not believe the complexity, the detail that was being extracted, and so he decided to create the whole Italy collection range. So that's what that Italy collection is all about. Here, Arancia di Sicilia is orange from the Sicilian region, where it's picked. In my opinion, There is nothing, so the citrus I love, but when it comes to a beautiful orange fragrance, it knocks it out of the park. This now, yes, you get bergamot, yes, you get lemon, but I don't know what it is about orange that makes you instantly happy. The orange profile, it brings joy to your soul. In smelling it, it's instant happiness. The downside is that orange or orange scented things have also been used in cleaning stuff, which makes me sad. It makes me angry, actually, because they use it as a toilet cleaner and things of that nature. So sometimes when you smell a beautiful orange fragrance, people go, "Oh, it reminds me of my mom's toilet cleaner." The great thing about Arancia di Sicilia, I'm hoping that this doesn't smell like a cleaning agent. All right, so it doesn't have sometimes, yeah, it doesn't smell like a cleaning agent. It's a beautiful orange fragrance. Recently, I was wearing it. Good friend of mine who is very expressive. Now, she's a married woman. I'm a married man. We're not married together, but just to give you an idea. She came up to me, one thing, hug and kiss is a normal thing. So gave her a hug, gave her a kiss on the cheek. And she looked back, we pulled back, and she looked at me and she's like, "You smell amazing." And she came in again and breathed into my neck. I'm gonna give you another tip in a minute. She breathed into my neck and she's like, "I love this fragrance." Arancia di Sicilia. Orange is a glorious, happy scent. It makes you feel good. So the tip is this. Normally when I spray fragrance day to day, I only spray in 3 places: my solar plex, my stomach, and my arm. And that's enough for me to move around. But if I'm going to a party, if I'm going to somewhere where, I know people are gonna hug me or give me a kiss on the cheek, or, there's a bit more intimacy, I always spray in the back of my neck. Not behind my ears or anything like that, back of my neck, and it's just one spray, bop. And I find that the fragrance, then when I get hugged, that it just pops. The fragrance sort of pushes out a lot more. When people are talking to me, they're smelling mainly around from my arm and things like that. But the hug, back of the neck, a little bit of a hack. Yeah, a bit of a hack. So Arancia di Sicilia, why is it so good? Now it uses that extraction from AQUA, as Gianluca explained, from the Sicilian orange, and I think it uses like an absolute, but also uses, I'll put it here, there are 2 extraction methods that they utilize in that opening, so you get this glorious, almost candied orange scent profile to it. The Italians love to have this, they've got this treat where they dry orange peels and then they put some sugar around it to give it a candy, sort of crunchy texture. For me, that is this. When it opens, it's inviting, it's happy, there's a sense of joy in smelling this fragrance. The magic is in the longevity of it. I get 6 to 8 hours out of this fragrance. When it comes to its projection, it's in a moderate to, so it's like a moderate, but not a high moderate. So it's a medium to low. So, but it doesn't go down to a body scent. So it doesn't come down to low. It does stay in a very confident sort of space. Oh my gosh, look at the time. This thing's about to pop. Let me finish this and then I'll stop the camera. Big bubble, bing, boom, boom, boom. These are pretty images here. My brain I lost it then. And I'll catch up again. Oh yeah, the base. So in the base, there are things, the longevity of it. So here are the base notes, all right? So it does have great staying power and longevity. I don't know how they've done. The orange note does stay all the way through the actual fragrance itself, right here. I've had it on now. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. It's a really impressive, again, I love all the Italian collection, but I just resonate with this baby here. So Arancia di Sicilia, great as an outdoor, if you go into an outdoor event or there's an outdoor dining, cocktail, whatever it may be, just with a little bit of breeze, this just pushes off your skin and it just creates a scent profile of just divine, pure magic. It's just really, really gorgeous. But easy, masculine, feminine, just big recommendation. Let me move on. A massive recommendation, everybody. Actually, I wrote here, it's a miracle fragrance. Yeah, it's a miracle fragrance, and I totally agree. ARANCIA di Sicilia, I strongly recommend it to you guys. Another one that's also a miracle fragrance. I love vanillas, and I have a whole collection of vanilla fragrances, and even to the point where I'm doubling down. Recently I was in Europe, and I just realized that every single fragrance that I bought was vanilla based. So I'm definitely into a vanilla. I love, and I love all the expressions of vanilla, whether it be heavy gourmand to more animalic to floral. In this case here, it's a beautiful balance between gourmand, floral, and animalic. If you grab a raw a vanilla bean, it has a pulpy, dark fruit, sweet vanilla touch to it. So if you grab that vanilla bean and you smell it up close, it has these different facets. It's not just a creme brulee, you know, it's not just a vanilla. There's all these other elements to it. And I feel that Vanille de Tahiti is exactly that, like you're actually grabbing a vanilla pod and smelling all the facets of it. Normally we find that in perfumery they use either vanilla from Madagascar or Bourbon. They're the two classic locations. However, vanilla is grown in many different places. Papua New Guinea, for instance, Tahiti in this case. So Gianluca, another fragrance that he created, went to Tahiti, loved the scent profile of this vanilla from Tahiti, also wanted to create a difference rather than just, I guess, the cliche of Madagascar and Bourbon. So he created this. Now there is an EDP, so an eau de parfum. That is good. This is, and I don't want to take you away from the EDP, but this is exceptional. This is the one, if you haven't bought the EDP, I would recommend to you the Extrait. It is next level, just beautifully amazing. Easy, masculine, feminine. I know that sometimes vanilla can be deemed as a bit more of a feminine sort of leaning. In here, even those floral notes at the start, so in this case here, Jean-Luc has added a magnolia, has champaca, also has ylang ylang, but it creates an animalic floral to it. So it has this beautiful evolution of this vanilla coming through, but with this very floral, animalic, almost sensual, like you've done something very bad, but very good. It's really intimate and carnal, and it's just like ultra sexy. It's just like ultra sexy, just really, really sexy. For me, I love this fragrance. This is actually, so Sandra has the EDP, I wear this one. I prefer this, and you can see how hard I've hit it. I don't spray a lot, and then the extract goes a long, long way, but you can see how hard I've used this fragrance, or how much I use this fragrance. Great as a summer fragrance. Right now I'm sweating. It's a miserable day, but it's steamy. All of a sudden the sun's decided to come out, and now it's all very steamy in here. It's just exceptional. So it does have that vanilla touch to it, but it's the pulpiness, the floral, the juiciness of the pod. The sweetness has been toned back, so it's not something that you would put into a cake, for instance. The florals definitely come forward a lot more. Masculine fragrance. So for me, if you want boys, if you want a really, really good vanilla, then this one here, the sort of the animalic component of it comes forward a lot more. As a female fragrance, you would be unstoppable. You would be a femme fatale. Let me just give you a heads up on that. And what events you would go, this would be great as an award. If you are now, beautiful house that I discovered in Spain when I was there is one called CARNER Barcelona. It was actually in Barcelona that I came across the house. They have a beautiful boutique there. If you ever get a chance to be in Barcelona, please, I insist, go to the location and go get this one. This is the one that I bought in Spain, in Barcelona. And it is, it's called El Born, and it is there to celebrate Barcelona itself, and more particular the medieval. So there's a part of the town in Barcelona that has still retains the old town. So the cobblestones, the buildings, everything about it. You literally feel like you have, which is such a cool, it's such a diverse city, because you go so far and there's the beaches there, you go inland a bit, it's very modern, cosmopolitan. Then you go across to the old town and you step back into medieval days. So Elborn is all about celebrating medieval Barcelona. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. As I've been moving my arms around and speaking with you guys, Elborn is constantly popping. And I think the other thing too is that for me, it's very much linked to just gorgeous memories. The scent profile is quite unique in the sense that it goes in different directions. Where it starts off, it does have a sweet caramel-like opening. There are, it's boozy, but not whiskey-like or anything of that nature. I think from memory, it does have like a honey accord in that opening, but it does have a very sweet caramel, alluring booziness to it. It instantly, again, I don't know whether this is Inception or whether this is, but for me, instantly brings me into like a beautifully low-lit bar or a very quiet location, very intimate, where people are sort of talking to each other really closely. The tenderness about it. It has, for me, it has all those pieces to it. If you're going to an event that is intimate, that is a smaller gathering, like I said, like a cocktail bar or something of that nature, or somewhere, or something where, actually another one for the theater, you would just be gorgeous. I would have to, if you were wearing that, I'd have to tap you on the shoulder if I'd smell the sea. I'd do this and go, what are you wearing? Because you smell amazing. So Elborn, it has other things in the actual construct are things like, beep, bop, boop, from memory, oh yeah, so it has these gourmand notes, but it's not a gourmand fragrance. So honey, fig, vanilla, benzoin. It does have like the jasmine, white florals in there. It's just a very sensual, very caressing fragrance with a boozy touch to it. So it does have a booziness in there. There is a woodiness and spices. Honestly, this fragrance, if you haven't had a chance to experience Elborn, this is one that, this would be beautiful on a, excuse me, on a cold or a very cool Christmas day. It's an intimate gathering, you with your family. This would just be divine, just divine. I can almost like this mental picture of this setting, and Elborn is part of that experience. Gorgeous fragrance to create a statement on. People will, I mean, it's a beautiful ambery fragrance, so people will, when they smell this in the air, there's a yumminess to it. Yeah. I put here nothing, what did I say? Oh, so northern. So this is definitely a northern hemisphere, definitely unisex. Man or woman can comfortably wear this. There's nothing in it that sort of states or sort of pushes itself out, whether it's too floral or too woody or anything of that nature. But just a gorgeous fragrance. Would love to put on your radar. When it comes to its presence, I get 10 hours on skin on this, and I find that the sillage, projection, all those pieces are about, they sit in the moderate. So it starts off, no, it sits in the moderate. It's been very confident as I've been talking to you before, and even now, the Elborn is constantly moving around me. So big recommendation. The next one, this is a little bit more now for Southern Hemisphere. So Aussies, a great fragrance to go out in is Bobo. Now, interestingly, this one here, from the marketing and the things that I've seen, seems to be targeted towards a female audience. And yes, there are, I guess it does lean a little bit more on that female side. It has things like a jasmine, it has some white florals, it has like, I think it's a white amber, so it's constructed note, but so you give an idea that everything's about light and airy. There are fruit notes of mandarin and black currant, so everything sort of does lean to that feminine. However, boys, so ladies, 100%. This is gorgeous as a fragrance for a woman to wear, just gorgeous. Sandra loves wearing this. However, now boys, I go back to you. This is a fantastic secret weapon for men to wear. Whenever I wear this, Sandra instantly is like, whoa, what are you wearing? What is that? What did you just spray? And you're constantly asking me. I am covered in fragrances. I was spraying this morning, as I mentioned. Grace was editing, and when I was testing this, the first thing she said, what did you just spray? What was that? What is that? Which one is that? When I pointed out it was Bobo, she's like, oh, I love Bobo. So on a female nose, it seems to draw people. So for a man to wear, it actually leans towards a female nose. I mean, it actually captures that attention. When I'm wearing this, my grandbabies, who are young ladies, they love it. When they actually nickname me Bobo, to give you an idea. So it gives you an idea. They call me Buelo, but they actually, one of my granddaughters calls me Bobo, and it's because I love wearing this. And when I'm wearing this, she also loves the scent profile on me. So for a man to wear Bobo, it works amazing. For a woman, easy thing because of the florals and everything of that nature. Now it does open. When you first spray, it does open very neroli-like. And sometimes I find that, and I mentioned earlier about that a lot of cleaners uses that sort of orange neroli sort of scent profile. So it does have a little bit of that neroli, not a cleaning agent, but it does have that property to it. So I have shown this to a few people and they're like, oh, I don't think I like this. I'm like, just let it sit. So here's the key. Spray it, let that neroli sort of go, do its thing. When it begins to settle, you move in now into those sweet mandarin blackcurrant notes, and the jasmine white floral begins to come through. On the full dry down, the soft white floral pieces, along with a little bit of the fruits, and then this, it says again, white amber. It does have a musk in there. I think there's even vetiver. So it does have a little bit. It has a lot more depth to it. It doesn't stay in a neroli fragrance. So if you don't like neroli fragrances, fear not. Bobo is not that. What it is citrus, happiness, white floral, sunshine, by the pool, outdoor dining. Just it's a gorgeous scent, absolutely gorgeous scent. So now Aussies again. So the Elborn, it's a white Christmas. You know, it's cold outside. It's nice and warm inside. Fireplaces going, all that sort of thing. Elborn is gorgeous. Aussies, or if you get a nice sunny Christmas, then this here you would just be divine. You would just be so, vibrant and alluring and present, and just everything about you would just radiate sunshine. So Bobo is that kind of fragrance. This is if you're having a picnic in the park or anything like that. Again, Bobo. If it's an outdoor event, if you're going to an outdoor movie or something of that nature, Bobo is just spectacular. It's a great day fragrance, but also it's beautiful as an evening fragrance, going out, outdoor dining, cocktail party, all that sort of stuff. Bobo, and again, sorry, Bobo is gorgeous. And again, boys, do not be afraid of this. This is a secret weapon. For some reason, when the female nose smells this, or woman smells this, she is drawn to it. There's something attractive about this particular fragrance. Boom. All right. Oh, and when it comes to its sillage and projection, I wrote down here that I'm getting 8 hours comfortably and I find that the sillage is in the moderate to sort of low moderate, but not a body scent. So it never, actually, again, Aussie summer, as you begin to sweat, Bobo reemerges and begins to push out itself again. So fantastic fragrance, goes really, really well. A little drink. Excuse me while I have a pour and have a listen, look at my notes. All right, next ones. I haven't sprayed the next ones. This is what they are. And I haven't sprayed because, okay, so some of these that I'm showing are sort of, in a more intimate space, or they push out a bit, but don't necessarily command huge, presence. These next ones are monsters, and I did it on purpose. I didn't spray on skin because I just won't be able to smell anything else, unfortunately. First one, Estrella de la Mañana. So for those who know or familiar, I love all things NUIT Nomad. I've done quite a bit of work for these guys. When it comes to the Discovery series, I'll tell you more about that. So if you want to discover an incredible French perfume house, niche, incredible collection, I'll tell you more closer when I'm doing the announcements. These are recent releases that they've done. Estrella de la Mañana essentially is a cacao celebrating fragrance. It has vanilla pieces to it, so there are some vanilla elements in there. At the end of the day, it is a cacao chocolate style fragrance. Now, I hesitated to say the word chocolate because when you think chocolate, you think milk chocolate and gourmand and all that. This is not that fragrance. This one and its companion, I'll show you that in a second, are statement makers, and they project everywhere. These are very high performing fragrances, incredible sillage, great presence, so you're going to get 20 plus hours without a problem. They are extraits de parfum, so you're going to get a lot more presence, a lot more longevity, 20 plus, I think I said that, 20 plus hours. Now, this one here, so I had a chance to experience this. This was recently released. Part of the France Fragrance Tour that we did, we had an evening with the founders of NUIT NOMAD, and we were the very first to actually, our group was the very first to actually experience these fragrances. Upon first spray, I was like, I'm in love. This is it. This is something that I know that I'm going to wear. This is something that I absolutely love. It is, in my opinion, in warm weather, it doesn't work as well. I feel that this is an internal heater. It's great for Northern Hemisphere right now. This would be fantastic if you're going to a very large event, big wedding, something where there's a lot of bodies, a lot of people. Estrella de la Mañana will, boom, will just command its space. It won't ever come down to anything that that people won't know you're there when you're wearing it. So don't overspray is what I'm saying. Just normally, as I said, spray 3, so 3 to 4 if you want to. Again, if you're going into a large place, and Estrella de la Mañana will do its work. It could be deemed as masculine leaning because it's a much heavier sort of cacao scent that it has to it. It does have birch tar also in there. Some people are saying that it reminds them of leather. I don't think leather. It does have a smokiness to it. You know, my thing is that for me, my brain grabs it's like those, sorry, I'll finish. My brain grabs the cacao. As soon as I start to smell it, my brain grabs the cacao. And it's like that image of the old woman or the young woman. You know, have you seen that where the young woman's looking away, the old woman's sort of looking directly. She's got a big nose. So for me, what I'm smelling here is I guess the young woman, because I'm smelling the cacao. But if I concentrate, then I'm like, oh yeah, there's the old woman, the leather. Why is the old woman leather? I don't know. Maybe she's more animalic, more. Yeah, but for me, again, I'm reluctant. I was just tempted to put it on skin because obviously skin and card smell two different things. What I have found for me is Estrella de la Mañana is, to my nose, is a balance between a very dark, rich cacao, never milky, never gourmand, and this vanilla that is a little bit on the animalic side. So that juiciness and pulpiness that I mentioned in floral that happens here does not occur here. This is a lot more woody, I guess, if you want to say that. It definitely has a lot more sort of grunt to it. Again, incredible fragrance. If you want to go to a place where you want to be noticed and seen, bada bing, Estrella de la Mañana is a monster. 20 plus hours. Don't worry about it. Projection and sillage, massive to high. So boom, baby. The next one that I would also put on your radar, again, another monster. Okay, so here's the difference. Where Estrella de la Mañana, do not get up close and breathe in because it's going to, like, boom, you know, you'll go a little bit cross-eyed. Whereas with saffron, silver saffron, it's, you know, I love saffron fragrances. I've got a collection in my brain all of a sudden said, did you say that right? Yes, it's silver saffron. Whereas silver saffron, you can breathe it in. This is now, even though it has presence and it has projection and commands its space, it's a fragrance that you can draw up close to. It's very sensual, very sexy. There are different facets to it that sort of, for me, sort of dance forward at different times. It is a bit more singular. So where Estrella de la Mañana seems to move a lot more and does different things at different times. So when it opens up, very deep, rich cacao, then it sort of comes back, vanilla comes forward, and then you're getting the smoky element. So it does a lot more of a dance, whereas I find that silver saffron, always stays as a saffron fragrance, but I'm getting the facets of saffron from it now. There are things like there's a raspberry note. Sorry, boop boop boop. My brain went bing bing bing. What was I thinking? No, it's all good. There is a raspberry note, and I find that raspberry note with the saffron keeps the fruity element to it. Never juicy, but that fruity berry touch stays throughout the fragrance. I find that when I smell saffron in nature, it has different parts to it. One is a fruity earthiness to it. Another one is a spicy component. And then lastly, that suede, leathery sort of touch. And I find that silver saffron does all those three throughout the whole fragrance. You're keeping the fruitiness, that berry-like quality that's lended in by the raspberry. You do get a slight spiciness, and I definitely get a very gentle saffron touch to the fragrance. It's this another one. So this is, when it comes to its presence, when it comes to its head-turning capabilities or power, is just phenomenal. I did a mate talk on silver saffron not too long ago. I had a meeting with Kevin, came to the office. First thing he did is beelined himself to silver saffron. He likes saffron, and he sprayed it. And anyway, we had our meeting probably 2 hours later. The whole time I'm like, well, bro, you smell great. You smell amazing. But again, I was aware that he had silver saffron. As he was leaving, he was ahead of me. And this sillage, this is now 2 hours deep, the sillage of this beautiful saffron fragrance with all those elements that I just mentioned, the berry-like, the suede touch, the spiciness, the floral nature, all of this was just like floating through the air. And I'm like, my man, that is incredible. This is a fragrance where Sandra is not afraid to come close to me and smell close to my skin, whereas Estrella de la Mañana, I put it on recently, and she's like, that is not what I thought it was going to be. So the Estrella is great for its sillage, silver saffron. If you are going to be a lot more closer to somebody, it's a fantastic fragrance, but it has great presence in large spaces. Great for a party, great for a wedding, great for a big event, great if you are, let's say you're getting a special award. I would wear silver saffron because I think that you would now have, you would just be alluring. There's that leather, all those pieces, the fruitiness, the spiciness, the leather, all those pieces, all the suede, just make a beautiful, complete whole. Big recommendation. And the monster, again, as I said, 20 plus hours. It goes and goes and goes. Let me have a little drink, and I'm wrapping this baby up. I'm smelling all these perfumes and making me so happy because I'm getting a collection of different scents. In particular, Alborn and Bobo are both sort of intermingling with each other. Bobo is just incredible. Actually, I just realized Bobo's here. What I smelled, yeah, sorry. So Bobo is here. And it's gorgeous. It's this white floral with this slight juiciness of the citrus. But next to it is one that I'm about to tell you. All right, first, before this one is this one. This is PANA DORA. I love PANA DORA. All things PANA DORA, just spectacular. The perfumer Ibrahim, I think the guy's a wizard. Personally, and I'll tell you more, when you look at notes and then you experience the fragrance, you're getting two different, to look at notes is not enough is what I'm saying. So these are fragrances that need to be experienced to be fully appreciated, to be fully understood. Because there are some things that you can look at notes and you go, I get an idea of it. And then when you spray, you're like, oh yeah, it's not too far from that. Whereas anything I've seen so far with PANA DORA, I look at notes and then I spray and I'm like, I don't get it, you know, because anyway, he's a wizard. The man is a wizard. I would recommend to you, this is more feminine leaning, and this is definitely for, what did I write down? The northern and southern. So this could be easier, a beautiful summer fragrance. I know this more intimately because this is Sandra's fragrance, and Sandra just lends femininity to my nose. It lends femininity to this fragrance. The fact that Sandra owns it. I don't believe that I could ever wear this, all right? So I'll give you a heads up. Even though, so from my understanding, this fragrance was created in tribute to Galleria Emmanuel in Milan, and it was an expression of the beauty of this place. And so Ibrahim, as he experienced it, he thought, you know what, I want to commemorate my time there. Having said that, for me, this is, as I said, this is a very feminine leaning fragrance. I'll be curious, if any boys own Emmanuel, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Now, question, and I wrote it here. Is it a floral fragrance? Or is it a gourmand fragrance? Or is it an amber fragrance? Or is it a piece of each of those which combine itself to be absolutely divine? If you want a fragrance that is a head turner, again, this is more of an intimate fragrance, so not one that will command a lot of space. It does go into a moderate to, actually, it stays in a moderate. Whenever Sandra's wearing it, I am very aware of it. It never goes into a body set. I don't have to get close to her to pick up on this fragrance. And the other thing too is that it's come to the point where I almost feel like this is what my wife smells like. So yes, it's a perfume, but it's become so, I guess, intertwined with her that I smell this and I just think Sandra. I tested before as I sprayed it. The first thing I thought was Sandra. Actually, I'll tell you something funny. Give me a second. My throat's getting dry. I'm going to embarrass my wife. So Sandra goes to bed earlier than I do. I tend to sort of putter around the house, blah, blah, blah. And Sandra's the type of person that hits the pillow and she is out, baby. She's gone, like 10 seconds, boom. I'm like your Mac computer or your PC that has 100,000 different apps all, and you got to close them all down. Boop, 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 boop. And finally you're going to the shutdown mode and you know, it takes a little bit. Okay, hang on a second. You want me to shut down? No worries. Sorry. So that's me. So I need to sort of wind down first, and then I get into bed, and then it takes me a little bit longer to sort of calm my brain. It's in that, you know, the spinning wheel. Okay, I'm going to shut down for you now, and then I fall asleep. So when I'm lying in bed, I'm smelling Emmanuel, and I've asked Sandra, do you spray this at night? This is her day fragrance, so she hasn't sprayed before she's gone to bed. So you're getting 10, 12 plus hours. So as I'm lying there and I'm sort of lying close to Sandra, I can smell Emmanuel and I think it's her. And I come close to her and I'm like, man. And I whisper to her and I tell her that she smells sexy. Yeah, but she does, she smells sexy. Do I want to say all that? I'm gonna keep going. My brain was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. She's my wife, I love her. What do you do? So, anyway, gorgeous. So, Emmanuel, if there are men who are wearing it, I'd love to hear it. For me, very feminine leaning. This is intimate. This is, if you're going to the theater or going to a place where you want to create a bit of a head-turning moment, then this is just like bada bing, just gorgeous. What I love is that if you look at the notes, it's an explosion in that opening, an explosion of florals. It's even florals that I've never even heard of. So it has this beautiful bouquet of florals, but it's not, and as I said at the start, is it a floral fragrance? I'm gonna say no. Then you're getting these pieces of vanilla and these gourmand notes coming through. Is it a gourmand fragrance? It's not. And then in the base there are more ambery style fragrances. So I feel like it's all of these pieces all rolled up into this beautiful divine ball. I wrote here too, which I thought was quite funny. I mentioned earlier that if you're smelling guilty story on your partner or anything like that, you're like, yo, what have you been up to? It's not that it's an adulterous fragrance, but it definitely, it has a sense of trouble to it. There's something there, whereas Emmanuel is faithful and loyal. And you smell this on your partner, maybe I hope they never do anything that's not right, but it has not a purity to it, but it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's just a good, and as I said, we're talking about head turning for events. ladies wearing this, just forget about it. It'd just be gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That's enough. I think I've shared more than what I than what I had planned to share. All right. Last one, Acqua di Dora. This is gorgeous. So where Emmanuel is a bit more feminine leaning, Acqua di Dora is incredible for a man to wear. I'm going to say a woman can wear this too. There's no reason why you can't. Meaning that there's nothing in here that is overtly masculine. So there's not, you know, these heavy dry woods or anything of that nature. It does have on the opening both a grapefruit and like a lemon zest, but with also ambroxan. Interestingly, I did do some research. I'm like, ambroxan, normally that's a base note that you would put into a perfume. Found out that ambroxan as a top note almost seals down on those top notes. So that grapefruit and that lemon, because these are two citrus notes that tend, you know, citrus, very small molecules tend to evaporate very quickly. My understanding from what I read is that it almost seals these top notes so that it stays and it creates that longevity with that note throughout the fragrance. That's what I smelled before. This is the one that I was saying between Bobo or Acqua di Dora. And that citrus is just, I mean, I'm now like 2 hours in and this fragrance is just gorgeous. When it comes to, so it has aqua as in its name, and aqua makes you think like a water or just a very light fragrance. This is not a light fragrance. I find that I'm getting 10, 12 plus hours without a problem. The one thing about it is that it's not as present, to my nose, it's not as present as some of these others. As I've been moving my arms around. Like El Born, I don't know, it's a monster. So as I've been moving around, I'm picking up these other fragrances, whereas this one here, as I come close to it, I can definitely pick it up. However, its sillage and projection actually is in the moderate to high. It actually has great presence and push. I was wearing it for about 10 hours. We went out for dinner with my family. My son, I was walking ahead of my son. My son calls out, he's like, whoa, who is wearing that fragrance? And of course, you're in a family full of perfume lovers. And so everyone's like, it's me. And I'm like, because I know my son Nelson, I'm like, it's me, bro. Anyway, he smelled everybody, comes to me, and he's like, it's you. He's like, what is that? What are you wearing? So Acqua di Dora has great sillage, it does have great presence, even though I don't, as you can tell, I love fragrance. What can I do? I love fragrance, and then on top of that, I love sharing what is it about these fragrances so that I can put that on your radar for you to check out. Each one of these, as you can tell, for me, these are gorgeous, head-turning, big-hitting fragrances. Let me finish. Acqua di Dora. Put it on your radar. The Panadora brand, fantastic fragrance houses, as I mentioned before. I do believe Ibrahim is a wizard. The way that he constructs these fragrances, the notes that he uses is just incredible. In this fragrance here, there is fig, there is chestnut, there is sandalwood and cashmere. And to me, it's not what I thought it was going to be. This is a glorious, masculine-leaning, citrus, vibrant, touch of green, a little bit of earthiness in there. Just a super confident fragrance. It's a quiet boss fragrance. So sometimes you have certain fragrances that, you know, have this big presence, Estrella de la Mañana, you know, big sort of hairy chest, big muscles, all that sort of stuff. But don't underestimate Acqua di Dora and the power that this fragrance has. Great longevity, and as I said, the more you sweat on an Aussie summer, outside, outdoors, the more you sweat, the more this thing emerges and just lets everybody know you're present. The difference is that it's a fragrance, unlike Estrella de la Mañana, which is very heavy and there's a darkness to it. This is sunshine, and it's happy and it's bright, and it'll just make everybody around you super happy. Massive recommendation. Bada bing, done. All right, let me just close this baby down. The 3 announcements. Number one thing that I've always wanted to do is smell alongside you guys in real time. The only way to achieve that is by going to a boutique together and smelling fragrances and experiencing that, or this new concept that I've developed, which is, one, it's exciting for me, and two, I love reading the comments that it's actually exciting for the people who are participating. The idea is that you buy a discovery set and then watch the video and follow me as we smell in real time together, essentially. 3 brands that I've already created discovery sets for: KAJAL, NUIT Nomade, and also Suspiro. Now, you can get 10% off each one of those discovery sets. In the comments below, I'll put links to each one of those websites. In the NUIT Nomade scenario, they actually are offering free delivery on top of a 10% discount on the discovery set. So it's a very, very generous offer. You can go ahead and book that. And as a thought, it's an awesome Christmas present. So if you know someone who loves niche perfumery, then you can get them that discovery set, link them to the video, and they can experience this alongside me. Now, I'm about to release a new discovery set. This is something that, and there's a lot more coming. Let me just give you a heads up. There's going to be a lot more discovery sets there's a lot more discovery sets in the pipeline that we're developing. The one that's coming out this in 2 weeks' time on the 8th, make sure that, yep, on the 8th of December, is the BOIS 1920, a range of 10 fragrances. If you missed the video that I created on Marasma, this one here, it's in this collection here, so I would like to share that with you. Marasma, I think, is one of the best fragrances that I've found this year, which is a big call because I've smelt a lot of stuff. So the BOIS 1920 discovery set is coming out. You can use the code NFC10, sorry, just NFC. You can use the code NFC to get a 10% discount. I'll also place down in the comments below a link. So once if you've liked something when you've done the discovery set, or even if you already know it, you can use that link, and by buying a full bottle of BOIS 1920, they will give you complimentary of your choice an 18 ml fragrance of your choosing. Yeah, I said that. The value is about 85 euros, so it's a very generous offer. It will be a limited thing, so this is for the next 3 months. This is what they're offering. So if you want to take part, if you want to join me on the Discovery series, then on the 8th of December, that'll go live. You can go ahead and buy your Discovery set now for a 10% discount. If you want to buy a bigger bottle, use the link, and then you can select your 18 ml for free. Boom. Last thing, a little drink. Look at these photos. This was a cool event, by the way. As I mentioned earlier, I have started a business called KM Fragrance Tours alongside a good friend of mine, Kevin. And the tours are deeply passionate about all things niche perfumery. The objective, or what we want to do, is curate events for the luxury perfume traveling lover. How's that for a category? Those people who like, I guess, nice things in life. We are curating tours designed to discover more when it comes to, in particular, niche perfumery. Things like I mentioned before, that we had an opportunity to meet with Jean-Luc at PERRIS. But it's not only just meet and shake their hands. We had an opportunity, in this case here, to go to the Monaco Yacht Club. And actually, to qualify that, you can't go into the yacht club unless you're a member. When we rocked up, it was quite funny. When we rocked up on that particular day, the reception looked at us like, what's going on? These, a group of 12 people walking in here. You don't look like members. All of a sudden, Gianluca came out, and the reception's like, oh, Gianluca, oh, friend of Gianluca's is a friend of ours. Go on in. So the idea behind the tours is you now get access to areas that, well, normally, I guess, a general, just a person who just likes perfumes won't have access to. We want to create experiences where we go behind the scenes. You get now very personal access to perfumers, to people who are in the industry, and to discover more about this world, this beautiful world of niche perfumery. We're about to announce the Italy 9-day luxury tour. The 3 cities that we're going to is, we're starting in Milan, then Florence, and then Rome. 3 days in each. And the dates are the 17th till the 25th of September. We have already lined up a number of big brands to be part of this event. So we're putting on, like we've done previously, we're putting on a really beautiful show, and we'll tell you more about that shortly. Now, if you'd like to know more, it is limited seats, so there are limited numbers that will be available, because we want to keep it, this is the thing, we want to keep it intimate. And so rather than have, moving busloads of people, this is a very personal, this is a very experience where you can now be one-on-one with somebody and enjoy the moment, as opposed to have you seen those where they've got this follow the flag around? We're not creating that. This is a very personal experience. If you would like to know more, then would like to invite you to put your name on the hot list. So if you jump on the KM Fragrance Tour website, again, there will be a link below. There is a spot there where you can actually write your email, and you'll be the first to know. Okay, so we are releasing this we're making the opening up the website on the 16th of December. You will receive an email on the 12th, and that'll give you now the complete breakdown of what is being offered, the pricing, all those pieces. What we discovered also, so just give you a heads up, that the first tour we did, we were staying in 4-star hotels, and by the end of it we thought, no, let's increase. So we went to a 4.5, that's what the last one that we just did. And then we had an experience in Monaco where we stayed in a 5-star property. And both Kevin and I realized it's 5-star all the way. So we're not gonna, all these other numbers don't mean anything else. It doesn't mean anything to us anymore. So all the properties moving forward will be 5-star hotels. We find that the service, the place, we just didn't want to leave. Monaco, we did not want to leave that hotel. So it's about a luxury experience, and that's what we want to bring together. But if you want to know more, if you want to be the first to know, make sure you put your email down, and we'll send you that email, and that way you can make the decision. Bada bing, we're done. Thank you, everyone. That was a long MUNLARK talk. Boom. I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to your comments when it comes to all the fragrance. There's more of this side. I have to stop. But if you want to know, another set of head-turning fragrances coming into this sort of festive occasions or for special events, let me know. If you are interested in me doing it, I can put up some more. Trust me, baby. I had to really push back just to contain it to these guys here. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys all on the next MUNLARK talk.